Hello everyone, in this video we're going to try to transform Fallout 4 with the help of mods into a better, more RPG-like and more close to home like Fallout 3 was and Fallout New Vegas. We're going to do this with the help of many mods that are optimized for each other, and we'll see what works for everything. In a longer video there is a full tutorial of everything that you need for Fallout 4 with the installation of the mod manager, like mod organizer, using loot to sort the mods, creating a bashed patch, and all the things that you may need to create a good and stable Fallout 4. The first changes that you have to do in order to make Fallout 4 compatible with mods is to change some INI settings from the game's folders. Now, most of you may have Fallout 4 from Steam. I do not know if Fallout 4 is available on other platforms like GOG or Epic. I don't quite readily know, but I have it from Steam, and this is the shortcut that Steam gave me. I cannot open the folder to view my files with this one, and I would like to change that. So I'm going to go to Library, search for Fallout 4, go to Properties, in the local files and click Browse. Now, I'm going to send this to the desktop, and I have my Fallout 4 executable on the list now as a shortcut. The next step is to find your INI settings by going to the Documents folder, My Games, and Fallout 4. Here you will have to change the settings in two of these INIs. One of them is Fallout 4 Custom.ini, where you will need to place this text right here, right under I location y equals 0. So right under here you paste this text that I will place down in the description. Just copy it from there and paste it over here. Then you save it. Then you go into the Fallout 4 prefs.ini, press Ctrl F, you search for a launcher in brackets, and right over here, if you already have this line of text and it writes 0, you change the 0 into 1. If not, you paste the whole text with equals 1 under the launcher in brackets. Now that your game is set up for modding, we need to add another component to it, making many of the mods that we're going to add compatible with it, and that one would be FOSS, or Fallout 4 SE, which comes in a RAR file once you download it from its website, which is right here under the 7-zip archive download. You will have to extract 2 over here, and you will receive this folder which has all of this data inside of it. Now that you have the Fallout 4.exe, you can just open file location on this one and drag all of them here, or copy and paste them. I already did this step, so it would prompt me with the replacing of the files in destination. So I'll click replace the files in destination. There he goes. Now I'm gonna send this to the desktop, so I have a shortcut of it. And at this step, I'm gonna launch the game, check my settings, and then see if the other executable works as well. Next, you will have to download and install Mod Organizer. We're going to be using this to organize our mods, just like it says, in a neatly installed and working program. I already have the installer right here. But you would usually get it from typing in here mod organizer, and it should bring you up to the Skyrim Special Edition one, because this is universal. Again, all the links and everything that you will need is in the description of this video. Now I'm going to choose a different folder than the one that it suggests for me. I'm going to place it in as apps. I'm going to make a new folder called mo2 for Fallout 4. I'm going to let everything into the recommended installation and click on create a desktop shortcut. I'm going to start it up. Now, for me, it started it up weirdly because I have Skyrim installed. Now, to change the game, you go over here and you create a new instance, or you choose one of these already one, or you choose the portable version, which places the mods in the MO folder. And I'm going to click on Fallout 4. Now it prompts you up with the tutorial. I'm not going to bother with this one too much. Here in paths you can see where the downloads and things are going to go. And as for me, it's going to go into the apps Mod Organizer 2 for Fallout 4. Now I am connected on Nexus. If you are not, you can connect over here and it's going to prompt you to log in. You will want to do that. And I'm never really bothered with the Steam login and the general settings. We're going to return to this afterwards. What I want to do now is install loot and rybash. I do not quite know how this is pronounced, but this one helps create a bashed patch at the end for when all your mods are all clustered up in there and there are many conflicts between them. This creates a patch that makes them all compatible with one another. Loot organizes our mod order, and Fallout 4 edit we're going to use to clean some of our DLCs. This is it's not a necessary step. Now I'm going to install loot. I'm going to install it in as apps again. I'm not going to create a desktop shortcut for this one. Then I'm going to install rebash. Now I already have this installed into my Fallout 4, if I am correct. It is here. So I will not need to install it again. But for you, you just you untick Skyrim for, install for Skyrim, you untick install for Fallout 3 and just install for Fallout 4. And it's going to find your folder and that's where it's going to place it for you. Now for the Fallout 4 edit, I'm going to extract this. Once the Fallout 4 edit is extracted, I'm just going to paste it inside the Fallout 4 folder. I want to keep all of my tools in here, and now I'm going to add them all to the mod organizer. This is going to make it so that every time I'm in mod organizer, I can choose between these options over here, and I will have all of the executables ready for me to just choose and start. I'm going to click on the add from file button over here. I'm going to add loot first, so that's in apps here, loot.executable. and I'm gonna add another one. For this time, I'm gonna go into my Steam Apps folder, Common, and Fallout 4. Here's where I have this one, and the last one is in my Fallout 4 folder, Fallout 4 Edit, this one. I'm gonna click Apply and OK. Now every time I wish, I can choose between these ones and start them up, just like this. I have not sorted this over, but we're gonna come to this later. Now, I already took the liberty of downloading and installing some of the mods I will show you, and this video is mostly, let's say, sectioned in different parts. This first part that we're going to talk about is just the basic principles of it, and making the conversations of the Commonwealth feel more immersive and more like Fallout 3, just like I've told you before. We're trying to create a better atmosphere for Fallout 4, and maybe even making it go back to its roots, becoming more of a Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas type of game, changing core gameplay aspects, combat and graphics later on. But for now, we're just going to talk about some simple mods that I've installed already over here, and I'm going to show you how you can download and install one yourself. You will go to Nexus Mods, you will search for the mod that you would like to add. Down you have the description, you will go to the files and click on Mod Manager Download. This will prompt you with a slow or fast download. I do not have premium, so I'm just going to go with a slow download. And once that's started, it will download over here in your Downloads tab. And afterwards, you double click on it to start the installation. Some mods will have an installer accompanying them. This installer is made for you to tick some extra options if you'd like, or make some changes in the mod itself. And up here, you will change your name of the mod. How would you like it to show up over here? You can call it whatever you want. This mod overwrites one of the mods that I've already downloaded. And let me show you the mods that I decided to put up for first. We're going to be using the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. Some people consider this as an essential. It's brought me some problems in the past, and I thought about adding it or not. It fixes a lot of mods that the Bethesda games usually, not mods, excuse me, bugs that the Bethesda games are known to have. And I decided to give it a try. I will update in this video later on if I decide to take it out or not. But for now, I've decided to keep it in. The second mod that I want to add for immersion purposes and for testing purposes is the Start Me Up mod. I've decided to have the second option over here because I will be using the extended dialogue interface. The Start Me Up mod is basically a different new game for your character. It lets you choose different paths and different regions from where he can start. The extended dialogue interface mod is something that really should have existed in the original game, and that is having more than just 4 defined options and placing them just like in the old Fallout games, one after each other, and also saying exactly what your character will have to say, But that doesn't matter for us because I've decided silent protagonist, or the SCDC, which comes loaded with silencing the protagonist, which I think I will use just this one, just that I've found out. But what this does is silences the protagonist completely and creates a Fallout 3 type of conversation where you just read the text, you project your voice that you think the character will have, and then the NPC will quickly respond without you having to read the text, then hear your character speaking, and then the NPC responds. So once it's done, you tick it, and it will appear in the plugins. Now there's one more step that must be done, and that one is installing the Silent Protagonist patch compilation. This one is a series of patches. For example, the Start Me Up mod or the unofficial Fallout 4 patch mod that have some conflicts with Silent Protagonist. Mostly at the beginning, if you choose some routes with this one, your character will still talk. So that's why, let me show you where that is. I'm going to reinstall this one. I've already installed it. So it has a couple of mods in here that you can choose from. But we currently don't have only the Start Me Up mod and the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. Also here at the end, I skipped over it quickly, but if you so wish to, let me show you again. There's the High Honey holotape from the beginning of the game that can be restored if you so wish to. The Silent Protagonist mutes this one and you cannot hear it. I'm gonna install this as well. Replace, and you should have these ESPs over here. I've already sorted these guys up just like they need to be, and we're gonna go into the game and it should work now.
As I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you. Are you well, sir? Call me Codsworth, if you please. Thank you, sir. Oh my, but you look distraught. Oh, perhaps the missus can offer one of those hugs you humans are so fond of. Speaking of which...
On this next step, we're gonna be looking at 3 mods that are really drastically gonna change the way that you play this game and you experience it a little more better with more options. With this first one called survival options, allowing you to do different settings to the survival aspect of the game, which I think is the best way you can play this game. But I feel like some of the things like not being able to save whenever you want kind of remove the RPG aspect from the game and just make it a survival game. So this survival option is a very essential one. The next one is level up menu and bException to work in tandem together. They overhaul the perks and skill system, making them really close to the ones that you're used to with Fallout 3, but keeping the Fallout 4 skills still alive. The bExceptional mod conflicts with the Start Me Up mod, and it creates kind of a bug that puts you in an infinite loading screen if you choose the option of spawning and choosing the life outside of the Vault Dweller. If you choose the Vault Dweller start and you start in the vault, no matter what happens, these 2 mods will work perfectly. But if you don't choose that, you will get an infinite loading screen. Now the only fix I know for this is ticking the bExceptional mod after you've started the game and after you've started the Start Me Up mod. For the next part of our modification, we're going to be focusing on gameplay aspects, immersion, and generally making the game more difficult than it already is. Then again, I'm going to be doing this in survival mode, so we're going to add way more challenges to it. The first mod that we're going to be adding is the Fallout 2287 gas mask of the wasteland. I feel like this one is quite an essential one, making you worry about one more thing in the wasteland, which is radiation that you don't really mind in this game. And then again, we're reading something more like the Stalker franchises, which had a way more emphasis on radiation and how dangerous it really is. This adds gas masks to all of the NPCs, depending on their faction, and makes you need to wear the gas mask most of the time and change out the filter. And also it really adds a great HUD, as you're going to be seeing it just like in Metro, you know, that gas mask feeling that you always just tighten up in that little shell of a gas mask, fighting and breathing for your life because the last breath could be your last. And the next one is called Damned Apocalypse. This makes the apocalypse more believable. After 200 years, I don't think you're going to be finding a lot of stuff laying about like stimpacks around gas stations, and it really just adds more, you know, like empty cams, broken handguns, you know, generic junk and food trash, things that you're used to finding. And they're all scrappable, and you can use them in crafting, which is amazing. Now the next mod is an amazing one. Again, it's Immersion, and it has recoil to many of the weapons. It has powerful power armor. Humans now behave differently. You'll need to craft hunting kits when you're going out and all those things that really immerse you. The next one is Some Assembly Require. Again, another great mod about power armors, where it really removes the full sets from the wasteland, making you want to search a lot more. And really, you won't only find parts of the power armors, and they're very rare. For example, the T60D power armor is exclusive to the Brotherhood now, you know, giving more challenge and more rewarding gameplay of the Brotherhood quest line. Now going towards more of the combat mods, this one is another great one that I personally love, making, you know, locational damage more substantial and important. Helmets now can prevent headshots for a lot of people, and they categorize enemies into lower races, medium races, higher races, you know, and gun penetration really matters now. For example, you shoot with a pistol into a raider, but you shoot a pistol into a death claw, it's not going to do anything, you know. This also adds staggering, which is an amazing aspect to the player and to the enemy, and really makes you feel like you're getting shot. The second one is Pack Attack. This one improves the NPC's AI and make them work together, maybe retreat if they don't have enough numbers to beat you, or if they're feeling confident, they'll actually charge you and use the cover to their advantage. This next part was the most difficult one for me. I had a lot of difficulty choosing the right mods so that I don't overcrowd the game and that I also keep a stable frame rate. I don't want to place too many mods to really fill up this mod list. No, this is just a simple mod list that I want to maybe 50 mods maximum. And this part is about weathers and interiors, mostly darkening them and creating a better atmosphere for the game. Now, I wanted to place different mods on this, and there was one that I planned on using, which was nuclear weather-like system that I wanted to recreate a little bit of a starker kind of feeling in this game. But that mod is no longer supported, so we're just going to use simple ones that are going to darken the game and help other immersive mods that we're going to add later on, like sound effects changes and atmospheric ones, more ambient inside of the buildings. Now the first mod is True Storms. This is a definite must-have. It is just amazing because it changes the normal weathers and it doesn't add upon them too much. It just makes them more atmospheric, just like I'm gonna show you right now. The next one is Darker Nights. This one's a pretty obvious one, even in the pictures you can see over here. You know, the vanilla game, it's just not dark. It's not scary. It's not... Nothing's gonna pop out of the corner and shoot you down before you know it. And this one is a definitely must-have. Just the same as a Pip-Boy flashlight works with all of these ones. Creates, again, more ambient kind of atmosphere around you without that Pip-Boy hollow that you had around the character all the time, and with the green light and that, it's just not great. Now for the interiors, I was looking at something like enhanced lights and effects, but this mod, while it looks absolutely amazing, it tanks on your performance and it just destroys the frame rate inside buildings. So I went down a more easier option. Now, of course, if you have an amazing graphics card like an RTX, then go ahead and grab yourself this mod. I have a 1070 and it really struggled a little bit with this mod. It went like down to 50 frames and even lower sometimes. Now, with interiors enhanced, nothing gets changed apart from the contrasts and some of the lights. With the enhanced lights and effects, all the lights get changed and everything is placed manually by this guy. As you can see over here, just manual placing of the light here, removing this one. So yeah, and to remove interior fog, this one's a simple one, doesn't do much. It just removes that crappy fog the interiors sometimes have in this game, which I don't understand. And a really, really great one is Fallout 4 enhanced color correction. This doesn't change anything noticeable in the frame rate, and the game looks twice as good. I mean, look at this left and right example here, and I'm gonna show you in the game as well. Interiors, how they change in contrasts, and that just matters a lot. Not even in interiors, but also the outsides with this one. Now, as it comes to installations, I've already reinstalled these, but I'm gonna reinstall them just to show you what I picked. I picked up for True Storms, I picked for Harbor DLC. I didn't change the glowing sea, I didn't change for Harbor, and for sunset time I set it to the earlier sunset, so that it gets dark sooner. I left the new heavy fogs on, and there it goes. You also want to grab the second file from their page, which is this add-on for the Nuka world. For the Darker Nights, I picked the medium one last time, but I think I'm gonna go for the dark option, which is level 2. Now, Vanilla Sky and this 24/7 mode, I'm not gonna choose those if you don't want darkness all the time. I'm gonna pick the Nuka World and the For Harbor DLC, and March overhaul patches for True Storms. This is the one that I was talking about, Nuclear Weathers, but it's no longer supported, so we can't pick it. I'm gonna choose automatic for this detection adjustment. And the night vision color, I'm gonna let it on vanilla. These are some great mods that add also great immersion features. The Darker Nights, they can detect you as well during the nighttime, and True Storms, they can detect you as fast during storms. So if you go during a storm during nighttime, sneak up on an enemy, they won't notice you as quickly. Now for this next set of quests, we're going to be looking at some, next set of mods that are quests. We're going to be looking at 4 quest mods made by the same author that are made to be compatible with each other and are easily integrated into the main story of the game, fledging out the story and creating a more immersive experience for you, like adding an actual bad option and choices that you can make by siding with Kellogg later on in the game, playing with him using the Depravity quest mod by Thuggy Smurf. Now, I have personally not played these mods, but I've heard very great things about them, and I'm a person that's coming back to this game after a long time because I have not enjoyed it the first time. So I decided to add these mods. You may not have played this game and you want to experience it differently, but I want to experience maybe a different type of quest line with more options and more possibilities with different companions and all that stuff. The first mod is Outcasts and Remnants. The second one is Depravity. The third one is Fusion City Rising. And the fourth one is Project Valkyrie. Project Valkyrie focuses on the main story of the game, mostly at the ending, making you branch out into a different ending. Depravity looks towards more the beginning of the main quest of Fallout 4. And Fusion City Rising and Outcasts and Remnants are kind of standalone, I believe. I have not played them, like I've said, but I will test them out right now and, see how they work. Now, I want you to remind you that if you're using Silent Protagonist, now it's a good time to reinstall the mod, because we've just added some quests that have voice lines and we want our protagonist to remain silent. Coming back to the Wasteland, I've decided the Wasteland really needs an arsenal upgrade, so I've handpicked quite a lot of weapon mods that are really going to improve your game. These weapon mods that I've handpicked are all unique in their own way. I've taken close consideration to how many customizations you can put on them, if they have an animation, or if they don't have a custom animation, then at least they should have a hell of a lot of customizations for them. And all of these weapon mods are unique. They don't really conflict with the vanilla weapons, and they are lore friendly. which is what I've looked for here, because I don't want to stray into the modern era by adding, Kalashnikovs and M4s into the game. That's not what I intend to do. Now, I'm gonna quickly say them here for you, and you can search them up. I don't know if I'll put a link to all of these ones. There are quite a bit, but I'll see what I'll do. The first one is Service Rifle, which brings back an old weapon from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. This service rifle can be modified in so many ways that you can't even imagine. It is an assault rifle. The next one is the Grease Gun SMG, used in World War II by the Allies, as well as the M1 Garand, which I think fit very well in this game with its post-war America thematic, as well as the 9mm pistol. Then we have the mod Crude Blowback and Handmade Anti-Material Rifle. Both of these are really handmade, and they fit very well with the raiders in this game and all those customizations. Then again, they've not included a pump action shotgun at all in this game, so this is the mod that's going to fix that. A very iconic weapon, it's going to make a comeback with a DKS 501 sniper rifle. And then we have a laser mod, well, a laser gun mod, which is this Watts rifle that looks absolutely superb. And the details on this one is just insane. The next one is a combination of two weapons. One of them is the China Lake and the other one is the Hollow Rifle. Both have different aspects to them. One of them is a grenade launcher, if I do believe so. And the other one is the Hollow Rifle from Fallout New Vegas. Completely redone with complete new animations. Now, these are the weapon mods that I'm going to use. And I've also added a couple of animation mods for some of the weapons that do feel a little clunky, and they definitely needed an upgrade in this game. Small mods that make huge differences. And that's where we're now, at the sound and overhaul mods that really just boost that immersion. With the first mod, it's reverb and ambience overhaul. This makes the shots and the kills and everything that's inside of a building kind of reverb. You can hear it in your headphones, and it's really quite interesting and really, really immersive. This one I highly recommend it, and really love sound in general. And these next mods that I'm going to show you are really going to improve on it too. Now, realistic gun sounds and bullet cracks. Bullets when they hit the walls behind the enemy. Maybe you've missed him, they're going to do a little crack. And they're more loud this time around and have more of an impact. And just darn, they work well with the sweet music of combat. Yeah, just like it says over here. Now, the explosions mod, there's really nothing that I can say bad about this one. It feels like you're there, and the explosions actually hurt your ears. Some of you may like this, some of you may not. So be careful with this one over here. Now, Project Reality Footsteps for Fallout 4. This one really, really boosted up for me. Some people don't really pay attention to footsteps, but I really do. And it carries the character in a silent ambience. And that's really just to break that silence, hearing the footsteps, hearing the breathing in the mask maybe, then hearing the rain falling around you, and, distant explosions and all those things. That's what this whole set here is gonna do perfectly. Another little mod, Radiant Birds. They're adding, real sound effects for the birds, and you can hear them sometimes. They really feel really, really immersive nowadays. Not just random crows flying around doing no noise. And these are really gonna... This is a small one. I just felt like it needed its place here. Immersive squeaky doors. No more of that clean noise of the sliding door. No, none of that in the apocalypse. 200 years have passed and no one's repaired these doors. And you imagine for them to not squeak? They better squeak. And for the last mod, it's just another smaller one that plays in the background. It's the classic Fallout ambient music. This really just sets the scene. It's not very loud, it's quiet. It's that sound in the background to keep you, alert. And it's just great. Just a classic Fallout music that brings back memories sometimes. Coming up on the end of this mod list is where your mind can really just fly to different places, and when you remember things that you may have forgotten, you go back and do them again, and then you're gonna reinstall the patches and all of that. But the mod that really crowns it here is Sim Settlements, which really the settlement system in the old, non-modded Fallout 4 was really just bad. I just hated it because, yeah, sure, I'll build my own house, maybe I'll build 2 more houses over there, but making, the protagonist of a wasteland apocalypse, where he has to go fighting and all that, make a city from scratch is just not for me. So Sim Settlements fixes that for you. It makes so that you can plop some, plots of land, and your settlements will come over there and start building up different factories and buildings and all of that for themselves, where you can just have a city by the end and you haven't really contributed much to it. That I like that a lot. Now, 2 mods that I'll be using are radio mods that are really great, that bring the music to the wasteland, is Old World Radio Boston and more, where that came from Diamond City Radio Edition. These are just great. Like, these are just amazing, pieces to have there in your Pip-Boy when you want to listen to different radio stations. Like this one, for example, has, which I'll play later on, it has a Gopnik radio station, a Texan radio station, and all that kind of stuff, from across the seas, and spruces it up a little bit. It surely does, and the actors, who play the radio guys here are just amazing. Now, another settlement close to home type of mod is functional displays, which Skyrim has and this one doesn't, which is kind of weird. Like having mannequins. That's a really cool thing that I think Fallout 4 needs. And then going back to a last part of the mod list, it's an armor mod. I realized we don't have one, so I've added Eli's Armor Companion. This works well with vanilla meshes and all of that. It just integrates it into the level list. It adds 50 lore-friendly armors and 20 accessories with multiple colors and all of that, and it's just great. Fallout 4 is alright with their armors, but they lack sometimes, so this one's a great addition to it. I've thought about adding Armor Smith, but that just adds a lot of crap and it just clouds the game a lot, and I decided against it. Now going back again to the last part of our mod list changes is a bundle of tape or weapons pack. I've discovered this recently. I didn't know it exists, and I've replaced some of my mods into this pack of a mod, which is great. It's made by Asax, and it's just immersive weapons by him. Just like it says, blue tape over here. Everything is just blue tape, fitting to the atmosphere of Fallout 4 and its vibrance. Now again, going back, I've missed this mod and I did not see it before. It's Ambient Wasteland by Spiffy Skytrooper and Leviathan 1753. I don't know if these are two guys or just one, but it's another just ambient mod that has a spot in my heart when it comes to sound effects and all of those things. Another one that I've missed is Terrifier ghouls, making the ghouls much more terrifying, which I think suits this mod list that I've created. Now I've decided to add a Pip-Boy mod, and especially the Pip-Boy 2000 Mark 6. I've used the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy quite a lot, and I've decided to change it up a little bit. This has a couple of colors, and it looks great, and it keeps it original, having more of a rustic feeling, to this survival apocalypse that we are all living in. Now, some quality of life mods like the Sofa Surfer, letting you sleep on couches is great. I can't say anything against this one. And then I've decided to add 3 performance enhancers. May or may not improve your performance, but you can't even notice them either way. So the first one is Insignificant Object Remover, the second one is Optimized Vanilla Textures, and the third one is Faraway Area Reform 4. Now I've already took the liberty and downloaded and installed all of these, and maybe I'll put a little preview now of some of them, but I don't think I can cover them all. But yeah, this was the last part of our mod list. Now for the final step of this video, we're going to create a bashed patch. This is at the end when you feel that your load order is complete, and there are 2 steps to this. One of them is making a merged patch with Fallout 4 edit, and the other one is creating the bashed patch with RyBash. So let's get onto that. Again, start with Fallout 4 edit. And select all of these over here. If they're not all selected, right click and select all. Mine are already all selected. This usually takes a while. It takes as long as as many mods as you have, depending on your mod list, of course. Once it's done, you'll want to select the Fallout 4 ESM, right click it, and you go down to Other and create a merged patch. It will do the warning, and you'll say that yes, you do know what you're doing here, so continue. Do you want an extension file name? I'm gonna name it Fallout 4 Merged. Simple, so that dude can see it. And now if you scroll all the way down, it should be right down here, Fallout 4 merge.esp. Now another step that needs to be done it's removing the whole leveled list of items and leveled NPCs if there is one, but there isn't, so just the leveled item file. You click it and you click delete. You gotta wait a little bit and click on the yes button. Yes, I'm sure. Now we're doing this because the bashed patch is what's gonna merge the level orders better than the file format manager for edit does that. Here on top we're gonna start up ybash and create this bash file. Now I've already started it up, so it created one over here which is empty. It should be all the way at the bottom once you start this one up. If it's not here, you right click on the file over up here on the column and you go to Files and New Bashed Patch. Now it's already here, so all we have to do is right click it. Let me activate this one and right click this and rebuild patch. You click whatever you want over here. I don't want the level lists, and it's going to overwrite this. It's automatic, so build patch. It's going to take a little while depending on how many mods you have again, but it shouldn't take too long. And there you have it. This is the last step to modding Fallout 4, and I think with 84 mods active, well, plugins, and 61 mods active, we have went a little bit overboard, but in the end we've achieved a little of what we wanted to do. Create a better Fallout 4 without changing the boundaries of the game. Sure, it does still look, a little vibrant for my taste, but it definitely has a hell of a lot more atmosphere and more things to do and different paths that you can take, and it kind of does feel like an RPG, true to its nature, like Fallout 3 used to be. And then again, everything is customizable in our Fallout 4 now, and everything is as you wish it to be. Now you can add as many mods as you want from here, but this was my tutorial and this was my way of building Fallout 4. Not crowding it with ENBs. I did not want to do that. Just simple, no performance drops, gameplay enhanced.
Come to life with new explorers soon. I fired up the ATV and went to base camp to await the last campers of the season. I had just finished a Red Delicious when
well-prepared shelter in the basement.
Here's a thing, a sort of note, I guess, from a sponsor here in Diamond City, and
on the 7 days, on the 7 month.
Don't make me feel this way. Come on over here and love me. Ways, but good shots.
Down that you might know, it goes by the name of Domino.
Well, look at these headlines. Read them out loud.
At gunpoint, a gentleman called Dirty Dan Destry.
Last wish.
Starring Ultimate.
You don't have Pip Boys out here, do you?
Pip Boy, miss?
I guess society outside is more primitive than I thought.
What the hell happened to you? You look pale.
You didn't see it? Weren't you on the 5-2?
Can someone please tell me what the fuck that was?
Yeah, and in closing, I got this to say. If God intended we should go to Mars.
Oh, what a woman!
Hey there, can you help me? It's my friend Murphy. He went to the film store, but it's been a while, and I'm starting to worry. Can you check on him for me? Really? Thank you. It's the big yellow building down the street. Can you bring Murphy back safely for me, please?
Come on, man, they ain't go... Oh, hell no! Think you can hide?
Well, it's not a no. Look, if you can get to the fusion core, jack it into that power armor, and grab the minigun, then those raiders will know they picked the wrong fight. Good luck.
And it's angry.
We got somebody up here!
Why don't you get down here? Show me that fancy gun up close. Not a lot of people can get past it. I'll give you that.
this chorus. Aha, the famous spokesman, even the unknown. They like their bananas because they have their own bone. It's everybody's weakness. It must be your in. Didn't you like bananas? Because they have their own bin. Man, there's something